Thank you, Ms. Hayes. Ms. McClain, you're recognized for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And I too agree with my colleague on free speech. But let me just share with you what free speech does not protect. And that is, it does not protect violence. It does not protect defamation of property. It does not protect threats on one's life. So I am for the First Amendment, but let's be clear, we know what the First Amendment is. I also want to make sure that I understand, before I get into my questioning, that the Department of Education's budget is $78.8 billion, and you're asking for $3.7 billion, for a total of $82.5 billion, and that's just not enough money to do your job. It's amazing to me, but there's no inefficiencies that we can find. If we just give you more money, everything will be great. That was my rant, so thank you for listening to me on that. Mr. Secretary, President Biden's Department of Education has canceled $153 billion in student loan, with plans to cancel $1.4 trillion. The House of Representatives said no. We actually passed legislation on that. The Senate said no. The Fifth Circuit Court said no. And the highest court in the land, the Supreme Court, said no. Yet you continue to march on. I would like to know what makes you qualified to ignore the majority of Congress and the Supreme Court.
Thank you, Congresswoman. And let me just repeat, hate has no place in schools. I agree with you. And as the president said, we're not going to condone it, anti-Semitism on our campuses.
Thank you. We can agree on that.
For sure. We recognize the higher education system is not accessible, not affordable, and it's broken. And we are working within the law to provide debt relief.
The House of Representatives said no, the Senate said no, the Supreme Court said no, yet you say yes. How is that possible?
The Higher Education Act gives me authority, and if...
So you alone have the authority, am I correct on that?
Implementation of...
You're higher than the Congress, the Senate, and the Supreme Court.
No, that's not what I'm saying.
Okay. I didn't think that
I'll
was.
give an example. Public service loan forgiveness, bipartisan bill, passed in 2007. Poorly implemented for 4 years. Only 7,000 people benefited from it. 98% of people were denied. We are implementing...
Mr. Cardona, I appreciate that. My question is really simple. What qualifies you to be higher in authority than the Congress, the Senate, and the Supreme Court?
I don't believe I'm higher than those groups.
But your actions would show that.
I'm acting within the law with the Higher Education Act.
I would strongly disagree. The Senate would strongly disagree, and the Supreme Court would strongly disagree. I'm confused on rights versus responsibilities. If you have a right to a loan, don't you have a responsibility to pay it back?
Yes.
Thank you. So you're in agreement with me if you and I make a deal and I say, hey, I want to buy this car, that I should pay that car loan back.
Yes.
You have a right if I buy a mortgage that I'm responsible, not my neighbor, not the person across the street, but I'm the one that took out the loan. I knew the risks, and I have a responsibility. Why is education and loan forgiveness different? Because I should have a house.
Thank you for that question. We have predatory institutions that are preying on students, putting them in debt, and not providing
We have
them
slippery car salesmen that are preying on people too, so should we forgive their loans?
We have...
I'm asking a question. Yeah, I mean, we have bad actors across the board. So if you're a bad actor, under that concept, I should forgive your loan. So if a slippery car salesman sells me a car and, gosh, I just got in a little bit over my head, we should forgive that. I mean, using that same principle.
We have a responsibility.
I'm asking a question. So are we going to car loans next? If you're a shady character and sell me a bad car loan, the government, well, not the government, you, because you have more authority than Congress and the Supreme Court, we should forgive those car loans too.
We have a responsibility.
The answer is, of course not. We wouldn't do that because we have responsibilities in this country. And I love how we talk about free education. It's not free. Are the teachers teaching for free? Are the teachers teaching for free? Really simple. I know we struggled with this last time, but no, they're not teaching for free. Somebody's paying for it, and the people who are paying for it are the American taxpayers. If you have a right, you have a responsibility. And shame on you for going over Congress and the Supreme Court. And with that, I'm over. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. McClain. Pursuant to the previous order, the chair declares the committee in recess, subject